This program is presented by QubicaAMF, making bowling amazing.
Welcome everyone to the 2026 Bowling Promotion Tour's QubicaAMF Masters Series. This is our third of 7 matches in this stepladder finals, and we are here on lanes 21 and 2 at the Cap Malo Bowling Center in La Meziere, France for today's match, featuring 2 young Frenchmen, 19-year-old Arthur Willemin, that's Willemin on the left, and going for his third win in a row, he's facing the number 5 seed 18-year-old Arnois Ambiel. I'm Bruce Hall, and along with Marc Chavet, we provide the international commentary for this year's Bowling Promotion Tour. It looks like the players have finished their practice already. They're going to get right into the match, and it will be Arnois Ambiel kicking us off on the left lane. Then Willemin will bowl on the right and then the left, and so on until Ambiel finishes the match on the right lane in the 10th frame. And here is Arnois' first offering. It comes up a little bit high. It looked like it was just about in the pocket. Just a little bit high, and he's penalized heavily, leaving a 4-6. Look at that, it's just high in the pocket. He almost trips the 4, shakes the 6, but leaves the virtually impossible 4-6 split. He'll just go cross lane and try to get one of these, and does. It's going to leave him 9 out in the first frame. Now we'll get our first look at Arthur Willemin. Willemin coming off wins against 2 U.S. players, first defeating Christopher Viale 182 to 173 in a match where he did not double. Then he defeated Crystal Elliott 237 to 219, where he threw a lot of strikes just like that, and throwing that harsh reality ball from Roto Grip. Now watch this ball shape through the pins absolutely perfectly. He made that switch in our last match and ended up 237 against Crystal Elliott, who only had 219, so that's 2 in a row for Arthur, looking for his third win in this 7-match stepladder. The winner here faces Christopher Berg Nilsson of Norway. And after that, we have Frenchman Kenny Bio. And there's another perfect strike from Willemin. And now he doubles to kick us off. As we said, coming up in the stepladder, we have Christopher Berg Nilsson of Norway. After that, we have Frenchman Kenny Bio. US's Tim Foy, and our top seed is Simon Ruszewski from Slovakia, and that rounds out our stepladder. Now here is Ambiel. He qualified 5th, averaging 213.6 for his 18 games, and he's going to throw that black urethane out to the right, gets it to the dry, turns up a little bit aggressively, and comes up a bit high for the 4-pin. Could argue that's not very far from where he threw it last time. Only he was penalized with the 4-6 split in the first frame, and now he leaves a very makeable 4-pin. Our oil pattern today is custom made for these TV finals. It's 41 feet in length, 7.86 to 1 ratio, and a rather light 23.8 mils of oil, which means that if you pull the ball into the oil, meaning for a right-hander, if you miss your target to the left, you're not going to see as much hold. The ball's not going to hold pocket as well as it might with a higher volume oil pattern. Your better play is to get the ball out to the right a little bit and use that dry and have the ball come off the dry into the pocket. Now let's see if Arnois makes any adjustments here. He's been just slightly high in both of his shots and not struck. It looks like he moved a little bit left. Got that one out to the dry as we were just talking about. Comes up, slaps the 10, and there is Arnois' first strike of the match. And turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, and gets the strike. He's going to need to put on his striking shoes here if he wants to keep up with Arthur Willemin. And here's Willemin's stroke, gets it out to the right, and he gets the lean on the 10-pin. That's a good-looking shot, just a little bit lazy up to the pocket. That's a little bit farther right than his last shot there on that lane, but it comes up just enough, and the 6-pin gets over into the channel, rattles around, and takes out that 10 for the front 3 for Arthur Willemin. And it looks like he's picked up right where he left off. And Christopher Viale gave him a little coaching at the end of their match. Just stroke through the shot and make sure you get that arm extended out towards the pins. And you can see how he's doing it nicely. Got that ball a little bit left, though. That ball comes up high for a 3-pin. And we saw Willemin also throwing an effect tour, but I don't think you're going to see that in this match unless it's later on. And that was just a little bit left of target. So let's get to the left here and go after the 3-pin conversion, which will give him a comfortable lead. And good shot there. And Willemin now pacing to 219. And already we're staring at a 30-pin lead for Arthur Willemin. Now here's Arnois trying to double up here. Can he do it on the right lane? And gets it out to the dry pretty good. Turn it up. Gets the double. Get himself right back into this match. Cuts the lead to 20 with that shot. Get it within 10 with another strike here. And look at that ball. He made his adjustment, moved his feet left a little bit, got it out to the right a little more. And that's a constant level of adjustment that you're always making as a competitive bowler. You're moving your feet one board here, one board there, moving your eyes a little bit, always trying to tweak your shot and try to make sure you're in the pocket. Now, going for 3 in a row here for Arnois. That looks pretty good. Oh no, that picked up on the dry and snapped through the beak. And that ball did make quite a left turn there. I think he might have cut it short a little bit, not as much forward motion. He's trying to wave it off, but it does pick up there in the mid lane. And that's going to give him 2 more pins down and counting. He leaves the baby split. He's got to convert. There's the backup shot for the baby split. Does not convert, though. And both these players use backup balls to go after their right side spares. And unfortunately, that was not effective for the baby split there for Arnois. Here is Willemin now with a comfortable 33-pin lead after just 5 frames. And he got that one in a little bit, and a little bit left to target. Comes up a little high for a 4-pin, but that's okay. Not a problem. As we said, both these bowlers only bowling for 3 years, and 18 and 19 years old respectively, so definitely the future generation is on display here at the Bowling Promotion Tour. As I said, this is Willemin's first participation in the tour, and of course Arnois is a veteran, having appeared in last year's tour. Alright, Willemin converts the spare, enjoys the 33-pin lead. We're halfway through the game. And stay tuned for Marc Chavet's interview at the end of this match. And there you can see actually Bruno on the left, Bruno Bidone, our host and organizer, and he's in the process of putting together the 2026-2027 Bowling Promotion Tour. So check back to the Bowling Promotion website for information on that tour. And Willemin comes up a little bit late to the pocket. Flat 10. Let's see, turn it up. Needs to go a little bit sooner than that. Goes a little bit long. Almost gets the messenger back across, but leaves the sole 10 pin. He will go cross lane with his urethane ball here. Now watch this backup shot. And we'll go after the 10 pin. There you go. And converts. Very nice. I guess that's a popular trend here in Europe when we see bowlers, two-handers especially, going back up over to the right-hand spares. And that's not the first time we've seen that here in these TV matches. You can see all of these matches on this same channel, so check back for that. Krista Elliott won our women's series. Here is Arnois, got that one to the right. Turns up absolutely picture-perfect shot there for MBL, and he better get his striking shoes on right now in these last 4 frames. Try to recover in this match. Got that one to the right. I think sometimes that urethane picks up a little too hard. Sometimes it doesn't pick up enough. He's definitely not getting the same predictable reaction that Willemin is getting out of that harsh reality. Now, it'll be a big shot here if he can double up here. Put some pressure on him. And oh my God, what was that? He comes up high, and it looks like a solid 10, but it was high in the pocket. That doesn't make sense. Watch how the ball comes high, and the 6-pin just kind of slaps into the channel and doesn't carry. That's one of the strangest hits I've ever seen. When you leave a 10-pin, the ball is usually light in the pocket, not high like that. You'd more likely see a 4-pin in a hit like that. But unfortunately, he leaves a very strange 10-pin and at a very inopportune time because he needed to close the gap there by doubling. And then you got to consider that a very bad break for Ambiel. Now Willemin up in the 7th. Pacing to 218. Ambiel pacing to 186. And there's a good stroke there. Back in the pocket is Arthur, and no doubt about that one. And he strokes through it very nicely, and no problem there. I'll tell you, that harsh reality is rolling very nicely. Look at that. That's a picture-perfect strike, and just about a carbon copy of the shot he threw in the first. Bowling Promotion Tour website, bowlingpromotiontour.com. Check out all of the information about this year's tour as well as next year's offerings. Rumors of some PBA events possibly coming for the Bowling Promotion Tour, so you definitely want to check in for that. And our friend Bruno Bidone is a masterful organizer, and he calls the matches, organizes it, edits the matches. We published on multiple different TV channels around the world, both international and French formats. And that one's left as well. Comes up high. He's not going to be able to double up there. He could have just about put the match away with a double there, Arthur, but unfortunately gets a little bit left off his hand. And he's like, oh, why did I do that? I think he just gets a little ahead of himself, gets a little bit quick. And sometimes when you do that, your feet get there first, and then you have a greater tendency to pull the ball across your body and miss your target left. So, a very common thing under the lights and under pressure to speed up a little bit. So, however, the 3-pin is not a problem, and marks are a good thing now for Willemin. Pressure is all on Arnois. He can only shoot 216, and Arthur pacing at a, check that, 250, and Arthur pacing at a 217 pace. And Arnois, yes, strikes in the 8th. And he can, as we said, shoot 215. I would strongly suggest that he do that to try to put some pressure on Arthur. And Arthur will not need to double. He just has to stay clean to close out this match and move on to face Christopher Berg Nilsson of Norway. And we had some strange reaction on this left lane. He had one go through the beak, had another one left that very strange 10-pin, but now he gets it a little bit high for a 4-pin, so no love at all on this left lane for Arnois. He's not making bad shots. That ball is just a little high. He had one come high for that 4-6 in the first frame, then he struck, and then he leaves that baby split, and then he leaves that weird 10-pin, and now he goes by the 4-pin, and that's going to pretty much do it for our friend Arnois. And unfortunately, with 153 in the ninth, 183 max, Arthur is going to have that in the ninth just by keeping the ball in the lane. So it will be Arthur Willemin moving on to our next match, our fourth match coming up. He flushes that one, no problem, and he'll go on to face Christopher Berg Nilsson. As we mentioned, after that we have Frenchman Kenny Biot, US's Tim Foy Jr., who is a touring pro on the PPA Tour, and top seed Simon Rushovsky from Slovakia. They round out this 7-match stepladder. Once again, thanks to QubicaAMF for sponsoring this Masters Series. They've done it for several years now. And we obviously thank Storm for the Women's Series as well, won by Crystal Elliott, as we mentioned. And now Arthur will go across lane using that backup ball to cover the 3-6-10, and he does. And he'll be in the 2 teens. And it looks like he just grabbed another ball. Is this that... yeah, this is that Effect Tour. I think he's just trying this as a practice shot. Let's see how this goes. He gets it out, turns it up. Actually pretty good. A little bit late to the pocket. Leaves a flat 10. And that is going to be 2-16 for Arthur Willemin. Ambiel, best he can do is 183. Just going to bowl it out here. And unfortunately that... he nibbled around the pocket the whole game. Unfortunately, just couldn't put enough strikes together. Of course, that one carries. They all carry when you don't need them. And you can see he just gets that one. See, the further right he gets it, I think the better it is, actually, because he gets it out to that dry. And with all his rev rate, the ball turns up and gets to the pocket rather nicely. So the problems come when you pull and you go up the lane too much. And I think you're better off getting the ball off to the right. Get some reaction near the back end. And Arnois will go for another strike here and get it, of course. He'll be in the 180s. And unfortunately, just not enough against the very tough Arthur Willemin, shooting 216. And he will move on to face Christopher Berg Nilsson of Norway. We'll check some stats, and then we'll go on to the interview with Marc Chavet. And thank you all very much for joining us. Here's the traditional clapping for Arnois as he makes his last shot. Going for 183, comes a little high in the pocket there. So 180 for Ambiel, and we will see him back, I'm sure, and 2 very, very promising young players on display here at the Bowling Promotion Tour, and a pleasure to watch this young talent come out and show themselves on TV and do well. Let's look at some shots here. Look at that. Harsh Reality rolls so nicely and so many times. And there's that black hammer out to the dry, and how effective it is when it comes up like that. There's Willemin running one out, so there you go. There's Arnois. Oh, youth. Combined age 35 for these 2 players. We look at some stats here. Ambiel, half strikes, 2 spares, 3 opens, though, for Arnois. And one of them didn't really matter, but he ends up only with 180, even with 6 strikes. And then we have Arthur coming up with 216, 5 strikes with the first 3, which really put him out to a lead that he would never relinquish. 5 spares and wins clean for the match. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and stay tuned to the same channel. Here's the interview with Marc Chavet.
Alongside Aranui Ambiel, the Frenchman just losing to his compatriot Arthur. Let's see how far King Arthur can go. That's coming up in the next show. But for now, we're going to get a quick reaction. Juste une réaction sur ce match. Il t'a fallu quelques frames pour rentrer de plein pied dedans. Tu as trouvé tes strikes, mais ensuite ça s'est un petit peu décomposé. Tu n'as pas réussi finalement à striker comme tu aurais voulu.
Ah ouais, non, je n'ai pas trouvé ma ligne de jeu et j'ai lâché l'affaire. Et puis Arthur était à un niveau excellent et il a trouvé la ligne de jeu. Il est passé et je suis content pour lui.
Aranui telling us he had a hard time finding his lines. Arthur, on the other hand, for him, it was really easy. He was in a great day, just great performer, able to find his lines, get the results he wanted. And for me, it was getting more and more difficult as the frames were progressing. So I just couldn't find it, couldn't have it today. Peut-être un petit mot également sur cette belle semaine d'aventure, ces voyages où on passe de bowling center en bowling center, on change d'endroit, on change de localité, on fait des nouvelles rencontres. Maybe just a quick word about the experience that he lived over the last couple of days, going from bowling center to bowling center, meeting a whole bunch of people. The international bowling community.
Bon, on a passé une très bonne semaine. On a fait des belles rencontres avec les Américains. On a essayé de les faire découvrir un peu le côté ouest de la France. Ils ont passé de très bons moments, nous aussi. Et puis, c'est une semaine de dingue. C'est une grande expérience à vivre. Je vous le conseille. Voilà.
It was a great week, just meeting people from all over the place, American bowlers or people from the international bowling community. We had a great time going from location to location, just upping our game and enjoying each other's company. So thank you so much. Merci beaucoup et à très bientôt. See you soon.